Our investigations of the Roswell Police Department have reverberated across the nation and around the globe. We broke the stories of a driver arrested for speeding on the flip of a coin, a police dog attacking a young suspect, and a 13-year-old boy who was intentionally left in the cold.
Getting cold yet? Because I've got heat in this car.
To extract a confession, all in Roswell. Tonight, there's more body camera footage with intentionally muted microphones and hidden documents, all showing a police department that treats its officers far different than the citizens they're sworn to protect. A Roswell police officer pulls over a speeding car before discovering the driver is a buddy from the same department.
Hey, it's Ramuna.
Hey, man.
Hey, well, sorry, man.
What are you doing?
I just hit it for a second.
Officer Danny Ramuno was stopped for speeding and reckless driving.
I just hit it for a second. I'm sorry.
You know what kind of position you put me in?
No, I'm sorry.
Because I can tell you've been drinking, man.
I only had a drink. I'm sorry.
You only had a drink?
That's it.
Put your feet together.
I'm not doing any field sobriety.
That's fair.
So, that's what it is.
Okay, that's perfectly fair. You know, you're right to do that.
Officer Johnny Burnett calls for a supervisor.
He's been drinking.
But when the lieutenant shows up,
Street on right.
It's okay. You are.
Okay.
the officer cuts the mic on his body camera. Where's the sound?
It's gone.
Why would they do that?
Because they're going to let him go.
Stay in the car.
Sarah Webb knows what it's like to be pulled over by Roswell police for speeding and reckless driving.
Turn off the car and pass me the keys, please.
2 officers arrested her on the flip of a coin.
A head, R tail.
Okay. Step out of the vehicle. Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Before any of these stories broke, we showed her the video of Officer Ramuno, also stopped for speeding and reckless driving, but unlike Webb, let go with a verbal warning.
Put me in a bad spot.
It's not your fault. I'm not mad at you.
They never raised their voice at him. They were very kind, gave him a break, yet the second that I started talking to her, it was just hostility.
Take a look at the 2 stops side by side.
Stay in the car.
Sorry, my window doesn't hold.
Off to Brown Roswell Police Department. You know how fast you were just going, ma'am?
I'm so sorry, I'm late for work.
Hey, it's Ramuna.
Hey, man.
Hey, well, sorry, man.
Turn off the car and pass me the keys, please.
You know as well as I do, with no tests and the only evidence is some bloodshot, watery eyes, but you're crying about your sister, it wouldn't look good in court anyways. So there's no way that this would be useful at all. It wouldn't help you. It wouldn't keep anybody safe on the road. I mean, you're already hung. But you have got to talk to somebody, man.
Were you given any benefit of the doubt like that officer was?
No.
Did they ask you what was going on in your life?
No.
2 wrongs don't make a right. If we were wrong with Sarah Webb, like I say that we are, had we taken Daniel Ramuno to jail just because he was a Roswell police officer, that would have been wrong too.
Chief Rusty Grant has no problem with the way Roswell police handled the stop of one of their own.
I imagine you're doing a code 5. Now I have the case number.
Or the fact the case number was voided and replaced with a hard-to-find internal memo. Why no police report? Why no incident report?
Typically, if we write a warning or something similar to that, we don't write an incident report.
Do you always write a memo? Do you always have the officer write a memo?
No, we don't. And actually,
so why write a memo that isn't easy to find in public records, and not write an incident report that is easy to find in public records?
It wasn't to try to keep the information from anybody, because to be...
This was withheld from me until I specifically asked for it.
Right, well, the open records folks wasn't aware that existed, because they typically search a database, and that wasn't within the database.
And then was that in the intent of not having an incident report?
No, there was no attempt to cover this up or to hide this at all.
Why mute the body cameras then?
That's a good question.
You want this one paused too?
It doesn't matter. I don't even know how to pause this thing anyway.
The body cameras were muted. We asked for all video, and the records department only gave us the body cam. And for a month more, we tried to get the dash cam, and it was refused. They didn't even respond to us. It turns out the dash cam caught some of the missing audio. That's right. Officer Burnett's wireless mic was still recording on the dash camera. We had to threaten a lawsuit to get this video, and now you can hear what they were hiding.
What do you want to do? He's already admitted he's been drinking. When he went to hand his girlfriend his wallet, he fell up against the car. And I told him, I was like, man, you put me in a bad spot.
I agree.
Right before deciding to let Officer Ramuno go, they cut all the mics a second time, a feature the body camera vendor prohibits by default. Roswell police commanders had to actively choose to enable muting department-wide. Officers are muting their dash cam, muting their body cam to talk about another officer and whether they're going to arrest him. There is only one reason to do that, and that's to avoid public scrutiny.
You know, we're doing it the way that we think we should do it. We're not trying to hide anything, but it's not a cover-up.
He's not going to jail or anything. I'm parking the car.
Police park Officer Ramuno's car for him because, according to the internal memo, the two passengers were also intoxicated.
Just keep in mind, yep, I have a camera on, so just don't say anything.
I'm not saying a word.
The coin flip officers were fired after you broke the story. So where's the accountability and the transparency?
We had to fight faith for almost every video we got from the Roswell Police Department. Eventually, they posted all of them online on a city website, but only after we broke the stories and other media outlets across the nation and across the globe picked it up.
Unbelievable.